got it. I did.
Yeah, and we were 4 hours in sub-zero weather without electricity,
really,
which runs the furnace, of course. So it got down into the 50s in the house, but it wasn't too bad. So
well, you're here. Let's hope you get better quickly because we want you well.
Me too.
Yeah.
So just the weird horsey cough that my son had and little blah 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 with the throat. So hey, Susie Q over in the chat room. Hello, all you hello. How easy for me to say, huh?
Get it right, Scotty.
Hey, lovelies, says Ryan Gale. I think you're mocking me, Ryan. She called me lovely last week, and I called her lovely back, and I said I don't usually use that word. So those of you not on the inside of the joke.
I've rubbed off on you, babe. That's what it is.
It's the way I like it. So.
Okay.
Shh. What's your mind?
I was being non-flirty.
You've been non-flirting, did you say?
Apparently, I've been really good and not flirting at all. You know
I
me.
haven't been either. Mm-hmm. It is 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Scotty and Wendy.
Yes. Scotty this time, Wendy that time. There she is.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I've been seeing like you have 3 shows without me and then one with me.
I know. We got to make up for lost time.
Best night of the week, Tuesday.
Best night of the week. That's very true. All right, we got about 15 seconds, 10 seconds. We got to go live. So I'm going to go dark. Wendy, stand by. Everybody else too. And happy Tuesday afternoon or evening or morning, depending on where you are, folks. Hey, Wendy, how you doing?
Good evening, Mr. Roberts.
I'm not hearing you. Why? There we go.
Oh, God.
No, I got you.
Good evening, Mr. Roberts. Greetings from London.
Good evening, Miss Robertson. Greetings from Somerset. Which sounds very homey to you. It's right around the corner.
Just a little bit further down the road.
A little bit further down the road. I dressed especially for you today.
Did
I want you to see this.
Ooh, I'm impressed.
There you go. I have the Union Jack on my chest.
Baby, you should have it wrapped all around your body.
Well, see, I'm trying to do no entendre day today. And so I'll do my best. This is non-flirt, no entendre day on the Robertson show.
No.
So I'm glad that you're here today. I'm a tad bit under the weather, but I'm fine. And I got 3 kids at home, ranging from 13 down to 8 that have all been sick. And so they pass it on to dad. That's what they like to do. And so I've got chest cold, throat, and all of that. So hopefully, not that that's interesting news or scintillating radio of any kind, but you're the one that's going to have to pick up the slack today.
This
You're
is
the healthy
amazing.
one. You're on top of things.
I've done this show when I was under the weather with a cough, and also
Yes.
when I had jet lag. So it's like
And jet lag on top of it.
no excuses. So you're doing it.
None. There was one point today I said, I think I'll call Wendy back and tell her I'm not going to do the show today. And I said, no, she's done it being sick. She's done it with jet lag. She's always here. So there you go.
The show must go on, baby. The show must go on.
Daniel Craig says over in the chat room, speaking of tea in the harbor, I did not know until recently that 2 of the tea crates from that very incident survived to this day. Oh, I did not know that either. Where are those? Or what museum are those in? Or is a private collector has them? That's kind of interesting. Even though we've mended our ways, we've built our bridges, Wendy and I, across the ocean. There's still history there. You can't dissuade it or do away with it, or we can have our opinions about it, but I think the history of it is neat. If 2 of those crates still exist in a museum, that'd be interesting to touch one. I just want to touch one. So
it's good to see we have KB with us tonight.
KB is here. Kenny Ballos. How you doing, sir?
KB.
Good evening, everyone. It's me, KB. He's rhyming and everything.
Came, he saw, he conquered.
That's right. He saw, he conquered.
Yeah, you could use that one as well.
So you brought up a topic with me. Was it this morning or was it last night? I can't remember.
It was your morning, my afternoon.
There it is. And talking about faith.
Yeah.
You got to have faith. I can't play that or I'll get a copyright hit for us. So, which is too bad. I'm sure there's somebody you could pay enough money to be able to play anything you want on your radio shows.
Yeah.
But, it's already on YouTube. Can't I just put it in the background on my YouTube? No. Yeah. So that's the way it is. But you brought up this topic, and I have full understanding of the ramifications behind all of this. Everywhere you want to go with this, I'm into you. I'm a study of you. I know exactly what you need on this. So, but you launch it. Get us going on this. What do you want to talk about faith?
It's interesting because in the words of George Michael, you got to have some, right? You got to have faith. Actually, some people don't have faith. They've either lost it, never had it, or it was taken from them. And I actually looked up the word, and it says faith is derived from Latin and Old French, and it means confidence or a trust in a person, thing, or concept. In the context of religion, one can define faith as belief in God, in the doctrines of teaching or religion. And then, which I thought was a much nicer way to describe it, faith is a feeling, a conviction, or belief that something is true or real without having any evidence. And there's a very true saying, which I often use, and I think if I get it right, to those that believe, no proof is necessary. To those that don't, I think it's to those that don't, no proof will be good enough, similar to that. It's about everybody in their life, whether it be family, friend, religion, government, passion, whatever, they have a belief and faith. But what happens when you lose it? What happens when you lose that faith, or you get disenchanted, or it's taken from you? Where do you go and get the
booster, I don't even want to give credit to that word anymore. That word's taken on a whole different meaning these days. But where do you get the bump? How do you get it back? Remember the old, now this isn't an exact parallel, but it popped into my head. Do you remember the old Barry Manilow song from back in the 70s?
Which one?
Where he talked about trying to get the feeling again. And he says, I've been up, I've been down, trying to get the feeling again. And so is it a faith of feeling? Is it something we manufacture for ourselves? Because here, let me get this out of the way. the religious side for me. I used to have a lot of faith, and it was blind faith. Within our religion, they would say, "Oh, it's not blind. We have all of this stuff written in these books," and it's like, no, that's still blind faith, because you cannot, for me, prove the existence of what you're talking about unless you quote the book. I said, give me something from without the faith, outside the faith, outside the book. Give me something neutral that proves to you and to me that this is a true thing to believe and to put my faith in a religious sense. And I got into the habit. Now, I wasn't always this way. This developed over the years. The more I studied and the more I thought I found gaps and holes in theology. I wasn't looking for them. I would just not get good answers. What does this mean, I'd ask. When I was in seminary, for Pete's sake. Seminary, what does this mean? Well, it doesn't mean much. I know where you're going with that. And, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We don't talk about that. Why don't we talk about it? It's there. It's in the book. And I have a question. And the more I got brushed off with answers, or the more I was given pet answers, the more I became somebody who started to take a step back from it. And I used to say this. I would say, and I'll end my diatribe with this, is that the reasoning I used, if hell is a real place, and it's such a real place that it involves absolute separation from God, separation from the love of God, separation from anything decent and human. It's not some weird, wild place you go and have an adventure and try to work your way out with full of monsters and creatures. According to the biblical text, it's weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth where the fire is not quenched and the worm doesn't die and blah, blah, blah. Gives you all that. And I said, if this is such a terrible place that God said he had to send his own son to prevent us from going there, why is it that he has left it to the finite minds of you, Wendy, and me, and everybody else? Finite minds. We only have a limited understanding of the universe. And we've only got, if we live a full lifespan, 70 to 100 years. And that range of 30 years, you pretty much could put anywhere along the way. If you live a natural lifestyle, life. Oh, for Pete's sake, you know what I'm saying? Natural lifespan. There it is. Don't laugh at me. And so my brain's not working today. And so if that was such a real place that God had to do all that, give his only son to prevent us from going there, why does he leave it up to the finite, limited mind of humans to grasp the infinite and the eternal? And the separation from God, it isn't just like, oh, you're going to go there for a few hundred years and you get to come to heaven. No, it was, this is where you are for all eternity, all infinity, and non-ending, never ending. And yet the only message that God gives us to prevent us from going there is something in a book that was written, most of it 2,000 to 3,000 years ago, and no other revelation. And we've gone 2,000 years without God going, hey, that book I wrote, I'm going to show you something. It's going to blow your effing mind, because it's going to prove what it says. Boom, there it is. And it doesn't, that never happens. And so, and then you start digging into it and you start asking those questions of, why is my faith in this God and this set of precepts and this theology, what makes it different from that guy's belief in his God and those precepts, those theologies? So those of you who are listening to this show that are some of my listeners, I see the top of your head. There we go. Some of you who are my listeners, you've heard me say this all before. Now, Wendy, bada boom, it's on you. Take it.
See, faith is very, very individual. I mean, before the church, before the book, there was a completely different way of life. I'm using England as an example. I can only, so basically, we had the Druids, we had pagans. We didn't have the Christians just yet. We were very much a pagan country, and so our faith and belief was in nature, was in energy, was in air, was in the earth and the water. It was very much into that. And then obviously when the Romans came over, and obviously then after that, conqueror, they changed our faith, or rather they accepted our faith for a while, and then they changed it bit by bit until they got the Catholic Church in. When I was young, I was christened in the Church of England church. People might call it Protestant. And my mum did it. She said, I'm going to christen you. What you decide to do, obviously this is what she told me when I got to an age where I understood. I christened you, but what you decide to do with it is up to you. And to me, faith is not just about God and religion. It's about a faith in a person, a faith in in a passion, a faith in something. Because don't knock my faith. Right. That's a very known saying. It's very easy to knock someone's faith, regardless of what it's in, whether it's in a religion, government, anything. It's very easy to knock someone's faith. But if you hold dear to it, if it means a lot to you, then any other doubt that someone throws on you is not going to go down too well. But some people don't understand your faith. Right. Some people will look at you and go, that's not true. That doesn't exist.
I look at Daniel Craig. He says over there in the chat room, he says, I believe that fairies, ghosts, UFOs, and dragons exist because I have seen them. I take it on faith that mermaids, Sasquatch, Nessie, and Atlantis exist. I do too on some of that. But some people will look at that and go, you are fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So pardon my French.
With which, so I followed the Church of England, and when I was around 4, then I started to, obviously at 7 years of age, I would hear spirit, and I thought I was going crazy, but obviously I wasn't. I was actually a natural medium, and I was really, really scared. So I got them to close me down. And when spirit closes you down in one way and you open up in another way. And for me, it was a very personal thing. But I also, good song.
Yes.
A lot of people can't believe in something, can't have faith in something unless they see it. And I get it, because I've lost a lot of faith in a lot of people. Of people. People now, I just look at them and I go, really? What? So do you walk the walk? So you talk the talk, but do you walk the walk? And then consistency is really, really important in a person. So faith in people, my faith in people, there's a set few that I've got faith in, some not anymore.
What does that do to you? I think you just answered it in that last 2 words, not anymore. But what does losing faith in people that you have put your faith in, where has that left you? When you come along and you meet a new person, it could be a friendship, a business relationship, it could be a money transaction type of relationship, it can be a love or a romance type relationship. Where has that left you on the scale of believing that person or having faith that that person is what you want them to be?
I think what happens is we're kind of born with this open, imagine like an open book. And as time goes along, we get let down, disillusioned, disappointed, whether it's by relationship, friend, work, anything. And what happens is that book starts to get smaller and smaller because you're closing it down so that only the set few pages are that you do, that are safe, that are left in there. It makes you not trust people. It makes you why should I put my trust and faith in you or in man? And the other thing as well, I find has been really important in my life is I look at human beings. I look at what we're capable of doing, what we do in the world, how we hurt and maim and destroy and destruct. And I look at my fellow human beings and I'm like, wow, there are some of us that I really inspire. And there are other people that I just look at and go, no wonder, I have little faith in my fellow man.
Right.
What are we becoming without faith and belief and trust? What are we becoming?
Well, I think you can almost answer that question by, let me add another layer on this, and let's answer that question. What about your faith in your government? What about your faith in your politicians? What about your faith in outcomes that they are supposed to be reaching that they don't? And you look back, for me, I look back after 40 plus years in the voting pool of the United States, and I look back and I say, what have we really accomplished? Well, why are we still fighting poverty?
Yeah.
What, does that just never go away?
Yeah.
Are we not doing the right thing? Stuff like that. And I'm not picking on the poverty issue in particular. It's any issue like that. I'll fight for you. Well, God damn it, fight for me and accomplish something. I'm behind you if you do it. So my faith in government and politicians has gone to squat. My faith in government, which over here, when you think about it, we have different technical forms of government, you and me, but we basically want the same things. We want freedom. We want liberty. We want to be able to express ourselves. We have different rules of law in our different systems, but we're basically a lot alike between your country and my country. Take out the royals, take out the,
That one, gorgeous. I've had 3 prime ministers in the last year. You can't get away
with right.
that. We have no faith in our government over here because
I can't top that one.
We had one for 44 days. I think a lettuce would live longer in Downing Street than that particular prime minister did. And on top of it, we've got one now that we wouldn't trust and have any faith in as far as we could spit. And then we have the other party that there's probably not that much faith and trust in that one either. So really, we're a sinking ship right now.
Yeah.
We are bobbing along like this going, help, help, help. Because,
look at my country. We've got a senile old man in the office. And I don't say that out of cruelty or hatred or political vitriol. We literally have a guy in office that shouldn't be there by no measure of anything. And for you to bring that up to anybody, they're like, oh, you're just a Republican. Well, no, I'm actually not a Republican. I'm not on the other side of the aisle. I am in certain respects. I'm a conservative. But I look at that and I go, why is it so hard for the people of my country to look at our leadership and see what the rest of the world is seeing? That this guy is not fit for office. He wasn't the day he stepped into it.
Well, the whole world sees that.
Because you have a cabal that's in his place, that's ruling. He's the figurehead. They don't want him to go down.
In the faith in your country is the same, isn't it? If you do not have a strong leader that you have faith and trust in,
right?
Who and right, you're not. Other people are going to look at. I mean, we look at England and we probably look at America the same way. Like Biden is and I'll be honest, he's a complete joke. Like everyone's, and so is our one. Richie Sunak is no prime minister.
Right.
And neither was Boris Johnson, but people liked Boris Johnson because he had that way about him. And would I say that Boris Johnson couldn't come back and probably head in for it again? Well, I think he probably would. But it's like there is very little faith in the church, very little faith in the government. So what do we have faith in? Where is our faith in?
I have no faith in the church. And I hate to say it. I had a Byzantine priest who was a friend of mine several years ago that asked me, he says, you and I ought to write a book together on Jesus, the historical Jesus. I said, I don't want to. And he said, well, I want to challenge your viewpoints. I said, my viewpoints are, I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I said, I don't touch that particular topic, I said to him, because I haven't made up my mind on that. There's some teachings that are so deeply ingrained, I hang on to those. And I said, but I'm not going to challenge myself on that one because it would be a very dark response. And so this is what I think of when I start looking at all. You ask, what do we do about that? How do we get that back? How do we get the faith back in our religion, or our religion is just practice? I get that. I'll know what I mean. You know what I mean when I say that. Our spirituality, the stuff that's supposed to govern us. Once you've lost that, how do you get it back? Let's say you're a married couple and your spouse, or you're with somebody for long, your spouse slept with somebody else. Just a quick example. Or was in a long-term affair with somebody else and then wanted back. How do you regain the faith in that person? Sometimes it's not regainable. How does God feel about the people he's created that he wants to have in his fold? Let's say, I don't buy the story. I don't buy it. So how do you get that back? And the first thing that popped into my head, I know I've quoted this several times on my own show over the years. We may have done so here, but you see that picture back behind me.
That's the one.
Of Samwise Gamgee's and Frodo. My daughter Bryn drew that for me in pencil.
Great quote, isn't it?
Oh, the quote, and I've got it up here, and please indulge me for a moment, and I'll read this quote because I think where does it come from? It comes from within us. It comes from what we choose to do with it.
I'm just finding that quote myself because it's the it's the one where they're on the volcano, isn't it?
This is before they get there.
Okay.
This is at the very end of the second movie when they have to go on. And Frodo says, and he's feeling the weight of this magical, spiritual black carrying this ring around his neck on a chain that he's got to destroy, if you don't know the story, folks. And Frodo says he's exhausted mentally, spiritually, everything else. It's draining him. And he says, I can't do this, Sam. And Sam says, I know. He says, it's all wrong. By rights, we shouldn't even be here, but we are. It's like the great stories, Mr. Frodo. The ones that really mattered, full of darkness and danger, they were. And sometimes you didn't want to know the end. Because how could the end be happy? How could the world go back to the way it was when so much bad had happened? This is, I think, that to me represents loss of faith. How can the world go back to the way it was when so much bad had happened?
Well, that's the world right now.
It is. But in the end, it's only a passing thing, this shadow. Even the darkness must pass. A new day will come, and when the sun shines, it will shine out the clearer. Those were the stories that stayed with you, that mean something, even if you were too small to understand why. But I think, Mr. Frodo, I do understand. I know now. Folk in those stories had lots of chances of turning back, only they didn't, because they were holding on to something. And Frodo asks, what are we holding on to, Sam? And Sam says that there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo.
Still worth
and it's
fighting
worth
for.
fighting for.
Yeah.
To me, that's the stuff that keeps you alive. Now, is that the panacea remedy to all my lack of faith issues? No.
But I mean,
it's a replacement for it.
That's such a powerful statement, because if you're in a marriage and you've been cheated on, if you're in a relationship and you've been cheated on, or you were hurt, or you were let down, or whatever, your faith in men or women will get jaded. Mm-hmm. You will be like, it may not happen straight away, but if you have more than one that this happens to, you then become jaded. You don't want to be, but you do. You become jaded. And the next thing you know, like the famous quote, all men are the same, all women are the same. You know what men are like, blah, blah, blah. And this is what happens because your faith in a person, in love, in a relationship, in something that you thought was so special has been betrayed. And how can it ever be right again? The truth is you'll be a very, very different person. You will look at things in a completely different way. And some of us will remain jaded. Some of us are broken and we're never the same as we once were. But there is something still worth fighting for. And that is the belief. And I think Steve put a very good quote up there when he said, it should all start with faith in oneself and then faith in one's belief. I think you have to believe in yourself. If you cannot believe in anything else or in anyone else, you have to believe in yourself, because at the end of the day, who's got our back, really? The most important relationship we have is with ourselves.
If you have something that's worth fighting for,
yes,
who does the fighting? You don't sit back and you go, hey, you go over there and fight that fight for me. No, you fight the fight.
But sometimes only one is fighting, right? Sometimes there is only one fighting, and you feel like I'm fighting this fight alone. But I think it's really true. If you believe in something and you're passionate about it, sometimes people will see that and they will pull it apart. They will rip it apart. Maybe out of jealousy, maybe because they want what you've got or whatever. Human beings in general are very complex beings. They really, really are.
Yeah.
And I like to not go to religion and faith so much, because at the end of the day, I don't know about you, but when I was young, I went to church every Easter. It was the same. Every Christmas, it was the same. It's always the same. And I always felt that as I got older, the church never really gave me anything in the modern day world to actually think, yeah, I can really relate to this. I can't. Now I know they've tried over the years to do that. But when I found my faith, and I'm a bit of this, bit of that, and a bit of the other. You know, I'm eclectic. I tend to get like, you know, I'm a spiritualist, I'm a Wiccan, I'm a bit of pagan, and there's still that bit of Christianity still there in me. And I get something from all these different religions. So I'm spiritual. I can't, but if I was to die tomorrow and they said, you know, what would Wendy like as a service, it would be a spiritualist service, because I don't believe that this is the end. We go on somewhere. But in my lifetime, my faith in myself has been something that has been the hardest thing for me to hold on to.
Yes. Eddie asks, how do you know you love your kids? I know. I just know. But that's an act that I am doing, that I am giving directly to somebody else. If my kids were non-existent for all practical purposes, if my wife was non-existent, if I never saw them, if I never interacted with them, if all I had was one old letter that was, thousands is silly for the illustration, but there was as old as I was, that says you will have a wife and your wife will love you and your kids will love you and you will love them back. I could operate that only so long, with never seeing them, never experiencing them, beyond saying, I've had an experience. You know, it's not that. Experiencing them, the touch, the feel, the taste, you know, okay, just come up with King Arthur from the play Camelot. He said of Jenny, his wife Guinevere, he says, of every woman that I could choose on the face of this earth, the woman I would most love, the woman that I would give myself for, the one who you know, it's the touch, the feel, the taste, the everything, and they would all be her, he said. And so how do you get that for somebody that, for all practical purposes, other than your faith, doesn't exist? They exist only because you give them the faith in believing that they are there. And so, Eddie, my kids, I believe, I have faith. I wouldn't if I never saw them and if they never existed, there was nothing that told me they existed. There was no evidence of it. I'm not an atheist, by the way. I'll make that clear. But I'm saying, you asked that question, that would be my answer to that.
But what about, let's put the faith to one side, as in religion, the faith in yourself, right?
Yes.
When people knock you, thank you, Broken Britain. It's very
Thank
nice.
you very much.
Here, Rule Britannia. It's what happens.
Dun, 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 dun.
And always will, may I say.
Yes.
We ruled. What keeps the faith in yourself? And as you as a human being and as a person, when people knock you and put you down and let you down and really hurt you, where do you find the faith in yourself?
I don't. I think it's the quickest, simplest answer. I don't. Sometimes I fall back on things I've been taught in the past, and that takes over. I click in. I allow it to click in. Or I make myself believe something. It's like, it's funny because I see a lot of, I know it's only in the religious sense I'm talking about this, but people who've lost faith on a spiritual sense or a religious sense, then they will go put their faith in something else because it's not that thing that hurt me. So many times it's I say it a bit tongue in cheek, and I've said it before. I said, pagans, not acorn shakers of the week who are frustrated with their upbringing as Methodists, but they're somebody who is a real pagan, I say. Now, I use that phrase. There's a lot of people out there that I have angst against my parents' Methodism, and so I'm going to go be an acorn shaker, or something like that. Is that real faith, or is that you're trying to supplant something? You're trying to find a surrogate. I find most atheists, their surrogate for God is no God. That's become, or science, skepticism. That's my new God. And they worship at the altar of skepticism or worship at the altar of atheism. No, it's not. I'll have atheism. Yeah, it is. So you're just finding somewhere else to put that energy.
I think some people find it very hard to believe or have faith in something they can't see. And therefore, they only have faith and belief in what they can see. And for instance, if you meet someone and they're very open to you and they're very emotional and they're full on and chatting and really into you, but you've been hurt and betrayed by so many people that you're like, can I believe this person? Have I got enough faith left in me to bring one more person in? And if they hurt me again, there's only so many times that I think you really give true faith to people.
Right.
And it's like, in my life, there are just a handful of people that I can truly say I have faith in.
Right.
It doesn't mean to say that, I'm not going to get let down or I'm not going to get hurt. But it's like I have to. There's a very true saying, and I said this to Mark the other day, and it's from the show Robin of Sherwood. And it's Friar Tuck, who's played by Phil Rose. Wonderful show. And he says, and they say to him, "Oh, you'll believe in anything." He says, "No, but it's better than believing in nothing." And I think sometimes we have to have, and another one I have to use, this as an example. This is one of my mottos that I use myself. Years ago, I watched the program Lost, and Locke in it, and he was a fantastic character. And on the show, he couldn't use his legs, right? But and then he would say, "Don't tell me what I can't do because it makes me want to do it even more." And he had absolute faith in himself, regardless of his situation. And over the years, Scotty, I've had to find that faith in myself and pull myself back up that ladder, up that mountain, and go, "I am going to do this. I do believe in myself." And when everybody else disbelieved me. I remember being told once, and it's a very popular story, but you'll never have a 67 Impala. It will never happen, right? And I have one.
I'll show you.
I have one. The other one was, you'll never get to Canada. And that is something that is not impossible, because I have been accepted, and it's just been the timing. But it's what I'm saying is, if you believe in yourself enough, and if you believe in your passion and your faith, you are capable of doing anything. However, sometimes when we're low and we're knocked down, we lose that faith. And lately, my faith has been tested a lot.
Yeah, and I hear that. And that is the thing that, because I think the whole theological faith or spiritual faith in a God or a religion, the tenets of, can be greatly damaged or affected by other aspects of life where we've lost faith.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said this in all the talking I do about this topic over the years, but I think for me, when I started to lose my faith in a God figure, was the first time I was told God is the Abba Father. It says in the Aramaic, in the New Testament, Abba being the daddy. He's like daddy. That's the intimate term for daddy. And I look back in my own past and I go, well, I never had that. I didn't have the dad at home. And there's millions of people who are in the same boat I am. They never knew who their father was. I know my father now. I got to know him when I was 30 and older. But I go back to my childhood, those formative years, I didn't have that. And so I had a stepdad in there, but he was gone after a few years. And so you look at that and you say, my ability to believe in and accept that God is like a father. Oh, if he's like a father, I'm not saying I actively think about this now, but I think that's what hit my younger brain was, oh, if he's like a father, it means he's not there. He's absent. He is absent. He's a nameless face in the clouds, or a faceless name in the clouds. You can look at that either way. There's an old quote I used to have: God wrestles with us in the night times of our lives, but at daybreak, he's gone. And so I look at that stuff. And so I think, to kind of directly answer your question, kind of, maybe, sort of, is that the loss of faith and the getting it back is hinged on so many different experiences. Michelle Cannon-Free over in the chat room said something about, I'm so stubborn and competitive, I will not fight, or not, I will not quit and fail. She said something else in there as well. If you don't believe in yourself, how can anyone else?
How can you? Anyone? That's a very famous quote by.
Damn straight.
What's
so,
oh my God, the famous drag queen. What's his name? RuPaul.
RuPaul.
If you don't believe in yourself, how the hell can anyone else?
Well, that's right? It. And I think over the years, my entire life, I have built up from being somebody who, when I was a kid and younger, had no confidence. I couldn't, as my mom would said to me one time, you wouldn't say shit if you had a mouthful. And that's the way I was when I was early. I developed, and she didn't mean that in a cruel, mean way to me. It was in a different topic. But I developed for myself a bit of a faux confidence. You put out the confidence on the outside. It's like Kenny B says in Morning Coffee. He says, like that 3-letter word sex. He says, even if you don't know what it is or what it's about, you fake it until you make it, kind of thing. And I can't remember his quote.
We love you, KB.
Yeah, we do. And your quotes always come to mind. So I just never get them right.
I think it's important to always, when we're talking about faith tonight, the reason I brought this up is because when we talk about faith, instantly people think religious, right?
Yes,
but when I actually brought it up, it was like, for me, it was like faith in ourselves as human beings. Yes. It was where where do we get our faith from, as in ourselves as a human being? Where do we have the faith of someone else? Because Scotty, you've been married and divorced like I have. You've been let down and betrayed like I have. And yet somehow we still found the faith in us to do it again and to give our heart again. What is it that we hold inside of us that goes, you know what? I'm doing it again.
Yeah. What is it? It's like, look at it this way. It's like a woman giving birth. I've heard more women say, including my own wife, I will never, ever have another baby. I do not like what it does to my body for 9 months. I do not like the process. And within 10 minutes of giving birth, they're like, oh, can we have another? And it's like there's something. I only bring that up as an example to say there are natural things within us, within our mind, within our psyche. Are we made to need God? Or are we made to need to have faith in somebody? I keep going back to God. I don't want to make this all about just religion, because I know faith has a lot of different areas, like you just said. And so, but what is, just curious what that one is.
I have a
hold this card,
because I have sometimes I've had very low faith in myself, and sometimes I've had to pull myself up, because I found the more sensitive you are in life, the more psychic you can be as well, but more empathic, the more we tend to get shat on or hurt or betrayed. And so my faith is like, I want to do this. And I found this quote which says, faith shows the reality of what we hope for. It is the evidence of things we cannot see, right?
Apostle Paul said that. Yeah.
And it's like my bestie, she bought me this bracelet and it has 3 words in it. It says, believe in yourself. And I wear it every day. And the reason I wear it is because A, obviously she bought it for me, but second, it's because if I don't believe in myself, if I don't stand up for what I believe in, if I don't fight for what I want, no one else is going to do it for me. You've got to believe in yourself, and you've got to believe in what's true for you, what's real for you, whether or not someone else. You're right there, darling.
I am.
I had to mute that.
I had to hit my cough button on that one.
Or, where do we go with it? Because if we don't believe in ourselves, and that's why faith to me is more than a George Michael song. It's more than a religion. It's more than this or other. It's like, is it our inspirational? Is it our soul that calls out to us and says, you got this?
Yeah.
This is what I think inside of us. A faith is a hope that this thing is actually real, regardless of what it is this real? Can I take that chance? Is this the time that I'm actually going to do it? The faith.
And still, it brings me back to theology and religion. God, why would God be the one, God, the creator of all the universe, to say, take a chance on me, take a chance. Is that what God is all about? Well, take a chance. Why don't you give it a try? Come on, it's a crapshoot, I know, but give it a try. I'm still out here.
How do we know there's a God? I mean, let's just put it to one side. Like, we talk about faith. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's the big guys out there somewhere, or the higher powers out there, right? But nobody knows there's a God. Nobody's seen him. No one alive today has seen him, we can say, oh, I felt the presence. We can say that something felt like that, but no one actually knows what God is, what he looks like, if it's a woman, man, or whatever, right? Nobody knows. And it's the same with the devil. How do we know there's a devil? Because you can't have dark without light, and good without bad, and black without white. How do we know there's a devil? Where does the faith come from in something we cannot see?
Right. And there's supposed to be gauges you can use to gauge things. Broken Britain says, yes, take a chance. And I'm saying, why would the infinite, almighty, omnipotent God of all the universe say, take a chance? Because that's all you got. That's all you got. I ain't giving you any more than that. And so that's where my questioning comes in. And I'm not being flippant about it, Broken Britain. I'm just talking about it. And now, it was interesting, by the way, while you were talking a few minutes ago, I was shuffling this deck. Rainey got me these cards at the thrift store the other day. Affirmators.
Yeah.
And you can see it's got a little bunny rabbit riding a unicorn leaping over a rainbow on the front. And it says 50 affirmation cards to help you help yourself without the self-helpiness. So as I'm shuffling these decks, because I was going to pull one out toward the end here, this one fell out. I thought, I've always learned in tarot, if I drop a card or one falls off the deck, I should look at it. It means something. Somebody's going, oh, you're not going to get that in the shuffle. I'm just going to knock it out of your head. Perseverance. This says, and pardon me for this, I got to put these on to read this. It says, it seems you're on a massive journey right now, and this card has arrived to remind you that you will reach the other side. The mountain you're climbing is huge and formidable, but so is your ability to climb it. You don't need to enjoy it, you just need to tackle it. Complain if it makes the job easier, blow off steam. You think the mountain climbers get to the top of Everest on inspirational quotes? No. They're grunting, they're crying, they're cursing the freaking pirates. That just doesn't sell a lot of posters. And so perseverance. Maybe some of this that's all it is.
Are you flipping a card there, Scotty? Like, let's pick a card for the day.
Pick a card, any card. So, Wendy, pick a card, any card.
Pick a card. I had a conversation with Mark this weekend, and it was quite a volatile one. Mark is not a believer in the tarot, and he doesn't believe in God, and he believes in a higher power, and absolutely a higher power, a higher consciousness. He's not actually a believer in tools, like that. And I said to him, well, not everybody is the same, and we all have our own individual way of believing in something. For me, the tarot has never really let me down. It's been a friend to me for all the years I've had it, because it's like when I ask it questions, it will sometimes give you the same answer again and again and again. And sometimes you'll pull a card and you'll be like, I really didn't want to know that, but you know what? It's been right. But it's like, how can a pack of cards, how can this be true? Because, it's rubbish, but it's like, I guess it's very, if you don't believe in it, then to you, it will be rubbish, right?
Right.
So we are very different. We see things very differently there. But at the same time, it doesn't mean what he believes is wrong and his faith is wrong. Doesn't believe that mine is. It just means that our faith and our experiences have led us to what we believe today.
Yes. And I have to agree with that.
Because, you use the tarot, right?
Yeah, I do.
You've had it for a long time, but you've also been a man of God. You've also done readings. You've tried, not being funny, you've got quite a varied life. You've been there, done it, ticked it off. And yet here you are.
There is that.
Still pushing yourself forward, still believing in yourself. Whereas me, I feel, here I am at this point in my life. Where am I going? What road am I taking? What do I believe in? Who do I believe in? I feel like I'm at the crossroads in my life and all the signs are blank. And the only person that really can find that way is myself.
Yeah.
My faith in me.
Yeah. And I've always wondered, is there value in having faith? Because if once again, I got to trip back over into the theological side of things for a minute.
I know.
Does God expect us to find it on our own? Does he say, you got to work for this? You got to do that? What we had in our theology, if we've got to work to get there, then God didn't need to give his son to do it for us. So something's been done on our behalf, according to the theology. But you still got to work to earn it? Or because we were taught there's nothing you can do to earn it, the favor of God. It's been done for you. So what do we have to do that is on us? And here's Tom Lewick, a good friend of mine. Hey, Tom, first time I've seen you over here. We all wasn't to believe in something, whether it be God or fortune tellers. We all want to, I think, is what he meant there.
And there's that saying again, isn't it? It's better to believe in something than nothing, right? Because if you believe in nothing, and I don't know many people that don't believe in something of some kind, what do you have? What gives you inspiration? What gets you up every day? What is your purpose to push you forward? Last week we talked about meaning, what's meaningful in our life and our purpose. And now we talk about faith. And I thought these two would be really good to back up the other one. It's like, what is your faith, Scotty? Like, if you had to give me just 5 things, what is your faith? Not why, just what gives you what faith?
Well, I'm not sure if I even understand how to answer that one. What is my faith?
What gives you faith in yourself?
The only thing that really gives me faith is me proving to myself that I need to believe in this thing.
Yeah.
It's not something anybody tells me. I don't want to be told what to have faith in. I want to have faith in something because I've proven it to myself. Now, does that sound too manufactured and too man-made to reach into the esoterics of life? And keep in mind, folks, I keep going back to theology and religion. This isn't a topic that we're specifically talking about religion or faith or spirituality or theology, but it's across the board. So it's things that I've been, let's put it this way, and let me just be blunt. I've been fucked over by so many people in life. Pardon me for the
I love it.
I'm screwed over AF. There you go. Yeah. In business and whatever and so on and so forth. And frankly, I've done my share of that, not because I've wanted to hurt anybody, because I've made mistakes along the way. But I've been screwed by so many people. I have no faith in people anymore. I don't even have faith in the people I have faith in. I have good friends that are good clients that take care of us, and one little thing goes wrong, or they'll say something kind of crooked, and you're like, oh my God, I'm either really insecure. Do I come across insecure? Am I insecure? Do I lack confidence? Are you looking at me? But I will lose faith. I start to, oh my God, I'm screwed. But I've had people actually go out of their way to screw me, and not in the good way.
So what you're saying is you is what gives you the faith.
Me. I give myself the faith. How about you, Wendy?
Oh, I can answer that. I've been fighting. What gives me faith? And I have to say, some people might see it differently, but it's like to prove in some ways those that said I would never achieve it and I would never do it has been something that's kept me going for years. Because when I was less confident, less strong in myself, it was easy to put me down, to screw me over, to, I'm going to use your words, to fuck you off, to break me. And now I've made it my mission in life to have hopefully the best later part of my life as I can have, believe in myself, because and it's like I know what I want. Ultimately, at the crux of myself, I know what I want. So I have faith in me, and I also have that chomping at the bit to be like, whether it's right or wrong, I will achieve this. But not because they didn't want me to, but because I want to. Like when I got the Impala, it was massive. That was huge. Everyone looked at me and went, you saw it on eBay? And I was like, yep. You never even known how it's driven? Nope. I've only seen one video of it and 10 photographs, and I'm bringing it over, and I've just spent a shitload of money on it, right? It's a coming. And they were all like, oh, this is a bit loopy. And then when she turned up, they were like eating their words. And it was like something inside me believed so strongly in that moment, in that car, in that. And do you know what? It's a decision I've never regretted. And I think that's the other truth. If you believe in something so strongly and it feels right, then that is faith in itself. Believe in yourself. And I think for me, the whole crux of that question is faith is believing in something that is bigger than you. And I'm not talking up there. I'm talking about inside you, your soul, your whatever word you want to put it.
And you know what is bigger than both of us right now is the end of the show over on the radio stream.
Whoa.
So I'm going to disconnect us. We're going to play the end titles. Everybody stay where you are because we're going to continue on in the YouTube channel. If you're talking to us via Facebook, you're not going to see most of what gets said in the chat room. So come on over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scotty Roberts, because we still haven't, Scotty Roberts still hasn't built the one for Robertson. So come on over there. We're going to continue the show for a little bit. And so in the meantime, I just want to say to the radio audience, live long and prosper. And now I'm going to utter the most cliche line in radio. Hey, folks, we're back. So we're not going to be here very long. This is kind of a little after show that we do. It's only over on YouTube. And you can see it in Facebook, but you're not going to get the full effect of the chat room over in Facebook. And you're just going to get what people say in the Facebook chat. You're going to miss all the goodness of YouTube.
We give them a treat, don't we? At the end of the show, we go, here's a treat for you.
We do. It's treat time.
Who wants a treat?
And here's your treat, Wendy.
I know. You should
England.
be taking that top off and actually showing it in its glory.
I should have. You know, you could go under there.
There it is.
There it is. You can only see the bottom of it there. But yeah.
When did you buy that T-shirt?
Not in England.
Yeah.
I think I bought it at like a Gap or a Target or something like that.
You know, the Union Jack is so iconic.
Yes.
You can go around the world and you'll see somebody having a Union Jack somewhere because it's like, I mean, look at Ginger. Was it Ginger? That's a good one, Rudy. I like that. Wendy's Cabin.
I like Wendy's Cabin.
Come into my cabin. Come into my lair.
The spider to the fly.
She'll see you now.
Said the captain to the cabin boy.
If you think about the Spice Girls and when Ginger Spice wore that Union dress, she actually saw a tea towel. And that's what gave her the idea. And they kind of made that dress out of nothing, but it's so iconic. So seeing you wear that tonight is like, yeah, he's been branded.
I have been branded.
I'm going to have to get something American now.
I'm looking at. Oh yeah, you have like American. What do you got? What do you got underneath your top? That's American. This is America.
I've got this necklace. Do you like my necklace? I haven't got anything else.
No pun intended, but tit for tat. You know, it's like I got my England shirt. You need your U.S. shirt. I should give you the one that we did up that says it's got the Union Jack and it's soaking wet, and it says, "I'll take my coffee black and my tea in the harbor."
What I'm
That's the
waiting
United States
is for you to make a cartoon version of me like you did Rainey.
I should.
I think you should. Wendy should have one. You know, we should.
I think we should. I think you've given me Now the benefit I have with Rainey is I know everything about it. I know her body. I've got 100 pictures of her body. I've got 100 pictures of her face. I can do any kind of digital art with that. I'd have to be using my imagination pretty well. Yeah,
Oh,
you know
come
what I
on,
mean.
20 years you've known me. I'm sure I could send you
Yeah.
the pictures.
Never mind that. But we'll commiserate later. I've thought about doing one for you.
I think you should.
And we got to put you. You want the Canadian flag or the United States flag?
Oh,
See, you need the United States flag because it promotes this show. I need the British flag.
True.
I got it. You know how Kenny Bellows would talk about doing a calendar? I need to do. I know all you folks don't gag a little bit in your mouths. I'm going to get naked and put a Union Jack and wrap it around me.
Oh, does that mean I get the stars and stripes?
You get the stars and stripes.
Stars and stripes.
I think there's no better way to cross the pen. Oh, Canada, says Michelle.
I mean, I have
She's
to
Canadian.
be honest, but it would be Canada, but the thing is now I'm getting to see America as my other home. So I think I can have all of them somewhere. Maybe you can incorporate them.
Well, we'll give you the. You need the British flag for the show, a show promo,
and because
and a maple leaf, a place to put a maple leaf.
Oh, I wonder where you could put that maple leaf. Let me think.
I'm thinking.
It'll have to be a big leaf.
Very big leaf, yes.
But I saw the one you did, and I was thinking that, there's so many. You could do the witchy, you could do the cowgirl, or it could be, I mean, I don't know what you do with British really, but I saw it. I was very impressed.
Thank you.
We definitely need one for the Dark Huntress.
Yes.
And and make it look as mean as possible. And yeah, I'm up for it. So because
let's do it. I'll talk to you about what I need from you in order to do that. Folks, we're talking about a combination of AI, digital illustration, digital Photoshop illustration, actual illustration, all digitized and all put together to make an image. And if you follow me on my social media, the one I did of Rainey is the cowboy with the sheriff badge. That's all the same way, done the same way. And you can find it on my Instagram. You can find it on my Facebook page. And if you're there and you heard about it on this show, just go, yeah, I found it. There it is. That's what we're talking about. Only I got to do one with Wendy.
Charmed cover one that you did, right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty sexy picture, but I'm not quite sure how
you're talking with the mirror, that one? Yep. That one was pretty easy. It was a little messing around. That was a couple of years ago too. But yeah, I could I'll tell you what I need to. I'll talk to you privately. I'll tell you what I need to be able to do a picture like that. And I do need source material.
Anita says, just stand on the border, Wendy, of Canada and America holding both flags.
There you go.
A Union Jack t-shirt. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
You need a Union Jack t-shirt. You need a United States flag t-shirt.
Yes, I do. I actually have, I don't even know if I have a Canadian one. But obviously, I lived out there. It's such a big part of my life. That's why I feel very Canadian-y, but it's now I need to come out to the States. Right. I'm really wanting to come out and see you guys.
Viking off-roading. Viking off-roading.
Off-roading.
Hey, how you doing? He says, hey, Scotty and Wendy.
Hello.
There he is.
Oh, I like the picture. Very good.
Yeah, I do too. The bear. I had a bear attack here on my driveway last week.
You did. It was sudden. It just came for you.
Out of nowhere. And then he was gone. It was like a Bigfoot.
Make it so, Scotty. I like the fact that someone... Okay. Michelle, she's Canadian. Is Michelle Canadian?
She's Canadian. She started out Canadian. She's still Canadian, but she's also an American citizen.
See, I think now that Rudy's come up with Wendy's Cabin, we're just going to have to do something.
Wendy's Cabin. I like that.
We are talking about the show for the show for that it's only in its prototype right now
Right.
You could sneak preview of like it's going to be a new podcast with us girls in it.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And hopefully the lovely Rainey.
She seemed very, very interested in that idea that you had.
Yeah.
So put together a broadcast with Rainey, with Wendy, with I think Wendy's roommate. She's French, did you say?
No, it's Sandra from Australia.
Sandra from Australia.
And I think my bestie in Canada is interested as well as coming on board. And so there's a few others that would want to, because we want it to have a real international flavor.
Yes.
So it's a podcast. It's not just for women, but it's by women, and I think it would be a great hit.
Yes. Uncle Dave says he was a naughty bear.
It was a very naughty bear.
Very naughty. I can't even say it the way you say it. Just sends chills up my spine.
Naughty.
So, naughty.
I need to like bottle that and say
That's for Terry Pitts. He's here somewhere. I saw him in the chat room.
He is here. He is there.
A long time ago. I think he's there.
Terry. No, I have to say naughty. Hello, Terry. How are you?
Yes.
Be naughty.
Be naughty.
Isn't it lovely that we have so many people join us? And
it is. I love it. I love it. Folks, thank you for joining us. It's pretty cool.
They have faith in us, Scotty.
They have faith in us. And we'll do our best to not shatter that faith.
More than we have sometimes.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
What was it? I'll take a tea and wet it for a picture if you want, Scotty. Elderberry.
Take a tea and wet it. What the hell are you talking about, Elderberry?
Wet t-shirt or what's he talking about?
Put on a elderberry in a wet t-shirt contest. Here we go.
Years ago, there was a place in London called it closed actually, called The Church, and it would open up every Sunday, and it was for people from all around the world.
Ah.
They would go over there. It would be a disco. It would be a band, kinds of stuff, and it was the height of debauchery. You'd go in there. There was sawdust on the floor. There was
high debauch and naughtiness.
There was big paddling pools full of beer, and they had Australians and American and Brazilians and Canadians and New Zealand, all that kind of people, and they would have a wet t-shirt every year.
Nice.
And all the girls would just go on stage and they would just fire one up at them. And it went down extremely
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
It went down extremely well. And I always remember, I did not go up though. I have to say I did not go up.
What is TCW? Michelle Cannon Free. I'm not placing it. 2016.
There's something.
TCW. That's where she met me, and she's had faith in me since. Thank you, Michelle.
Robert.
Means a lot to me. That's Terry. That's Terry Pitts.
Is that?
Hey, Wendy, I heard you on the other side.
Ooh, so Terry is Robert.
Oh, the Christian whistleblower. Okay. I've forgotten totally about the title of that old show. So
is Terry Robert?
Terry is Robert. Yes.
Oh, he's another Robert. Oh, it was a wet t-shirt. That's what he was saying. Yeah. Okay, I see. Chuck is a fan, and he used to go to that church. It's true. It was really positive, and I actually have a claim to fame. I actually dated one of the bouncers, who was huge, and I went along to see.
I don't want to hear about that.
He was huge.
He was huge. It's like,
and he actually went on, and it's
a kid show.
I'm so proud of him. He actually went on to win Mr. Natural Universe 4 times. And I remember going to the church, and I remember seeing it and thinking there were people having sex under tables, sex in the toilets.
At the church?
At the church, because it was a Sunday. You know, you go to church on Sunday, you know, and I was like, oh my God, I thought I'd gone into a Roman orgy. It was so much fun.
Be honest with us. Did you ever get up on stage for the wet t-shirt contest?
No, I didn't.
You didn't, huh?
Well, if I was dating one of the bouncers, he was not going to have me up
there.
It
was linen. I would definitely not have gotten on the stage and gotten it wet.
I mean, you know, I just didn't do it. But I have to admit, as a woman looking on, I was kind of like, you know, it was.
I'm better than everybody up there, but I ain't doing it.
I'm not getting the girls out, not today.
That's right. That's right.
It's not happening. But yeah, the church, and they don't do it anymore, sadly. But it was wet t-shirt.
She says.
I think if you find me a really good American t-shirt, which is because I don't like t-shirts that come up here. I like.
Do you like V-neck? V-neck. Okay.
V-neck. Like, find me a good V-neck USA one, and I will wear it. Actually, I would even wear one, and dare I say it, because Henry actually has a do they wear a bandana, which is the General Lee flag. What was that? The forgotten its name now.
Dukes of Hazzard?
Yeah, on top of the car. Which you're not supposed to talk about anymore.
Oh, the Confederate flag? Yeah.
Confederate one, yes. I think that's an amazing one.
So now, do you have, and I mean this all, I'm not being prurient in any way, only slightly, but I keep that to private. What you and my wife are built a lot alike in certain ways.
Yeah.
Do you have the problem that Rainey has? She'll get a shirt, and if it fits her boobs, it doesn't fit down here. It's like wearing a tent below that. And so she either has to, she'll even t-shirts, she'll stitch them in or put a dart in them to pull them in a bit, or she walks around in it and it comes down here and it hangs straight down, you know, so you got, it comes out around the breast, goes straight down and goes back in and to where, and it hits her legs. And she doesn't like wearing something because they're just not form fitting enough. Do you have that same problem? What, I'm going to talk to you about what size you need and stuff like that.
Have you ever seen me in a t-shirt? Not easily.
Yes, I have.
And if I have, I usually tie them up. But for me, if it doesn't fit me, if it doesn't suit my body, I don't wear it because, you know, I think that we all know what looks good on us. And Rainey obviously knows how to get that sucker and make it look really good on her.
Oh, yeah.
I have... I'm very, how can I put this? I'm very small backed and large front. So when you put the t-shirt on.
Well, I know all this stuff.
It's like, come on, you're going down, you know?
Yeah. Lips do not unpurse. So.
Is that noise I can hear? Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, my brain's working all the time. All the time. So yeah, you and I will talk about size you need. I got some shirts. Now, would you want a light colored shirt? Do you want a dark colored shirt? What do you like? If it's got imprinting on it like this.
I think I'd probably go for white or black.
Okay.
I do wear other colors as well. Like, you know, I do try and wear different colors every week. But yeah, for sure, I would. And of course, you have the oh my God, is it the St. George flag, which is the other flag of England, which is white with the red cross.
Yes, the cross of St. George.
St. George,
and then the cross of St. Andrew, which people don't realize. The blue field with the white, what looks like an X going. I can't show you the whole thing.
It's so sexy, that flag, don't you think?
What about it?
It's so sexy, that flag.
It is, especially
it might be a little tiny island, which is now completely fucked over and shoved. You know, in every.
We got a really huge country on a continent that's completely fucked over,
and it's like, but we ruled the world once. We ruled the world, and look at us now. It's like we're just bend over and take it. But you can't. Yeah. You know, can't take away that this little island is as much as, you know, is actually quite, you know, look at the Beatles, you know, came from here, the Rolling Stones, look at the history we've had. So when you wear that flag, you're incorporating all different bits of my country.
Yes. Hey, Paige Soiree.
Excuse me, going there. Really, Dave? You had to go there?
Hey, I already went there. You just didn't hear me. I said lips do not unpurse. Meaning stay shut up, Scotty. Stay shut up. It is a non-innuendo Tuesday. So
I love that, Ken. Yeah, how if I don't know anything about it, you're not the only one who can fake it. Who said that? KB.
KB said that. Kenny
have
KB Bellows.
T-shirt.
Yes.
England, England, rabid dog, end gland, end gland. Really? Don't you mean England?
I've never heard it said that way.
We have Britain, we have Great Britain, we have
Mm-hmm.
England, and then you have the United Kingdom.
Yes.
So Britain, obviously, I think is, when I say Britain, it's a very different thing than the United Kingdom.
Right. I get that.
Scotland and Wales and Ireland are joined to us. Not so much, I'm sure they don't enjoy sometimes, that's for sure.
I missed something there. So, yeah.
I'm just trying to look through these comments.
There's a lot of them.
The Christian Whistleblower.
Wonderful.
That's quite a good name for a good show.
What is it? Where'd you see that?
Michelle, and she says, Captain, I've had faith in you for a long time. So you see, look, Scotty, you bring out faith in people.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
But you'd have liked the church, Scotty. I think you would have enjoyed it.
I'm sure I would have.
You'd have come over and gone.
I'd have said, Wendy, let's go to church. So.
Put your tea. The British flag represents the sun. Really? The British flag represents the sun. Do you want to explain that one?
I'm not sure I know that. That could be one of those conspiracy type theory things.
I keep talking about having a tattoo. My bestie and I were talking about having a tattoo, which is the Canadian flag on me, and I think the English flag on her, because you're drawn. It's like that's where your heart is. So when I see you wearing the Union Jack, I look at that and go, oh. So I'm gonna have to wear something American now. People need to send me something
you
American.
Gotta get something American. Here, I'll show it again. Yes. There it is, folks.
I cannot. So.
Dun, 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 dun.
Somebody needs to send me something American.
Dun, dun, dun. It's the same thing. What?
You need to send me something American now with the flag on, and I'll wear it.
I'll do it.
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Yo, salute.
The sun never sets on the British Empire. How
innuendo is so strong. Jesus. I said it was a no innuendo Tuesday. But I was going to say, I'll send you something with the American flag. You can run it up the pole, and I'll salute it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, Ryan.
Whew, all in 2 seconds, I got out some innuendos.
The sun never sets on the British Empire. I bloody hope not. Okay, field guy. Okay, I'm here now. We can start the show. You're a bit late.
You're a little late, field guy.
Where you been?
We're just about ready to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So.
You snooze, you lose.
He works. He's a working stiff. He doesn't get home in time to see the show live.
What I think we should do next week, we should do the differences between Britain and America.
I like that.
And we should have, you should be very British, and I should be very American.
I'll be very British. I'll get my powdered wig, the little curls on the end. Yes. What? You're probably going, is he doing British there?
Because you see them on TikTok and they go, my boyfriend is American, and he says it like this, and they'll go, tomato and tomato and all that kind of stuff. Which is, I can't say tomato, but then people say potato, and I'm like,
potato, potato, tomato, tomato.
So we need to do perhaps we have to next week the differences between Britain and the United States.
Yes, and British slang.
Oh, that'll be a good one. That we can put.
Yeah. Yours. I'm especially good, she says in British slang.
Well, exactly. But how much can I actually use on here?
Field guy says jambalaya. Do you know what jambalaya is?
How much can I actually use on here, though? Because some of it's rude.
You can use anything you want.
It's rude. I mean,
Thank you, Susie Q.
Isn't that nice? Fanny. Thank you, Michelle. Fanny is very important.
Fanny, yes.
Yeah. When I went to Canada
Funny.
and they were like, you know, fanny bags and I looked at them and I was like, what?
Fanny
And
packs. Fanny
fanny
packs.
packs. And I was like, that can't be right.
That's a little too forward, isn't it?
Well, yes,
What do you
because
mean? Whatever do you mean?
fanny over here is a whole new meaning.
Whole different thing.
You know, and over there, completely different. As in Magnum, the ice cream. Over here, we have Magnums. They're ice creams. They come in different flavors and sizes. They all taste very nice, right? You know, you can't get enough of them in your mouth.
It's got a little difference. Something different
Over there
here.
is the condom, and you're like,
right.
what? Biking off road. Is the post working there yet, Wendy? Yes, it is. It is working.
Sir Crisps, all of that, says Dave. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about everything from the well-known to the not so well-known.
Yeah, and things that things that we.
Hey, Sterling.
On.
Sterling says, "Hola."
Who is Sterling?
Is that's Sterling Brew? I do believe.
Yeah, I see him up there. Hola. Cigarettes and fags. You see, I've taught Ken that already. Ciggies and fags. He knows it already. Thanks for that one.
Sweaters and jumpers.
Yeah, I like Magnum ice cream. Shag isn't a haircut in English. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
We use every day to describe a very pleasant experience.
That's right. Isn't Randy a word as well? Do you find yourself Randy?
I think since Austin Powers came out, everybody incorporates the word shag and horny and Randy as in that sort of department. But shag is really,
like shag, I use that one all the time.
Sod off. Shag. That's absolutely a good one.
Sod on, yeah.
Smoking a fag can get you in trouble in some places. Very true.
Yeah, depends on if you're doing it under the bridge, under the table, or out in the open. So, we have to be. Let's not give away all our thunder for next week.
Michelle's gone 2 fingers in the UK. Well, obviously this would be
Victory.
Churchill's.
That's Churchill. What's this? The opposite?
Yeah, up yours. And then also, like, you know, I'll talk about some of the because you guys love our British shows out there, don't you?
Yes.
So I love how the Brits use the expression to bugger off and knob.
Bugger off. Yes.
Knob. It's such a great word. He's such a knob.
A knob. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Don't you know?
Next week it could be. It is a dog. There he is.
There he is.
Yeah.
There's Henry.
Anita's got. I think. Where is he? Oh yeah, there. He is. He's there. He's not too well today. He's got poly ears, so Mommy's had to take care of him. But I think next week was going to be fun because it's.
I think it will be too.
I'm
going to have to commiserate on this and get our ducks in a row.
Yeah.
And make it so.
Make it so. Isn't that a Picard thing, though?
That's a Picard thing, yes. Yeah. Picard.
Before I go, what do you think of Picard?
The series or the character?
Series.
I thought it was pretty well done. Very different, which is what he wanted it to be in order to be part of it. I just saw the trailer. I posted the trailer on my Facebook earlier this afternoon. The full trailer for the show just came out. The third season, and it looks pretty good. He's pretty much reunited everybody that was in the original series.
Well, I think he's given them a proper goodbye, right? Because they didn't get it. I just want to say, Phil Guy, thank you very much. It's a nice offer, and yes, I would love to do it. So send me the invite and etc. My name is Randy, says Elder Barry.
Randy, are you Randy?
Do I make you horny?
Horny.
Randy? And apparently Pearl says, my mum, Randy, smoked fags.
There you go, Pearl Jones. Delaney Pearl Jones. If she said it, it is so. So, good to see you, Delaney.
Yeah. Well, I'm now on the hunt for either a T-shirt that says shag on it, or I'm going to get an American one.
Just the word? Just
shag.
the word shag?
Shag, yeah, because it seems to be everyone's favorite words.
Yes, yes. There are different things we could do with shag.
Oh, that's a lovely
My
compliment.
favorite kind of carpet is shag.
Thank you, Michelle. What a lovely compliment.
What? Who?
Michelle says, when do
Oh,
you have...
Wendy, you have a magnanimous spirit. Love your energy.
Thank you.
I do too.
Right
Frankly.
back at you, Michelle. I love Michelle's comments because she's got that kind of... I know it's infectious. I think I lead them down the path, though. I'm a bit cheeky and naughty when I'm not being
She's
serious.
cheeky and naughty.
Very. Yeah. And I tend to... I did it on KB's show. I'd be kind of... I can't help it, but I've just got to take you down the road that way.
That's right.
Scotty loves it,
really. Only if it's shag carpet, field guy.
Shag pile.
So...
well, it's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Roberts.
It always is a pleasure. And had a good time today. And hopefully I didn't get too esoteric.
Well, I dragged you back when you did.
Yeah, there it is.
Because I mean, we gotta stay on the topic. But
that's right.
I think we did our best.
My best.
We did our best. If I was there, I'd poke you with a stick.
And if I was there, I'd poke you with a stick too. So there you go. We're both on the same page. All right.
Oh my God. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I answer to God sometimes too, but
oh, do you?
Sometimes.
She's
small
on
G. Small G.
Okay. David, she's on the hunt. She's after you. She's on the hunt. She's after you. Isn't that a Duran Duran song line?
I don't. It almost sounds like it.
I've got to think of the song. Hungry Like the Wolf.
Is that what it is?
I don't know, Dave. Oh yeah, see, Michelle's written it. Yeah, Hungry Like the Wolf.
There it is.
Well, darling, shagatastic, and I will see you.
Shagtastic
for next.
Oh, behave.
Behave, darling.
Yeah, I'll try. All right, you have a good rest of your night, Wendy. And all of yous out there, we're going to get out of here. We'll play the show ender again just for you.
Because it's damn good.
Yes, and we're at the fanny of the show. No, that doesn't really work, but you know what I mean.
Go get shagged, people. Go get shagged.
Go get shagged.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Talk to you soon. Wendy, love you. See you later. Live long and prosper, everyone.